welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays here on News Talk 93 FM. And you know we're here with you every Friday. And all the Friday them when on Friday, don't ask me no question because I do have the answer from 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. And from hear that song, you know what time it is. It is time for Talk the Ting with Kim. So you know this is where we have our discussions. We talk about everything under the sun, from love, money, life, fitness, health, everything, right? Mental wellness, all of that. Yeah. And then this week is a special topic with a very special guest. So I tell you, it's like everybody walk with them own light. You know, so do that lock off in here with us still, see? Yeah, because she's walking here with our brightness, and I like it. Her glow, right? Cause you know, so place not get darker on she when you're outside, the place bright, you know? No.
I'm looking at all the pictures.
And you cannot see bright. Yeah. And there was no flash in the camera. You know, she was glowing. Yeah.
we're here in, you know, our presence today.
Yes. We are in the presence of, you know, we're in the presence of a special guest. We're gonna give her the opportunity, because we can't do it how she's gonna do it, to introduce herself and let us know.
I wasn't sure which title to begin with, but she would know which one.
Exactly, we can't do it justice like how she going to do it herself.
Ladies and gentlemen, introduction to our special guest today.
Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany Gray, the serial entrepreneur.
Serial entrepreneur.
You know, serious business, that you know.
You mean it's not just one, not two. Just
in everything, a little of everything.
I'm no joke, people. Listen to me. I don't know what don't you do? Like, what area haven't you gone into? Because it's much easier to say that than what you really do.
Right. So hair, I don't know how to do hair.
You don't do hair? Okay, well that's.
I know, say she didn't really focus.
Listen to me, kid.
She will get it.
No, you see when a lady says she don't know how to do hair, do you know what I mean? So she can't help herself.
Exactly.
Does not do nobody else.
That part, yeah.
So she still can do hair, people. Don't get sidetracked. She's not gonna do no. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, Tiffany Gray. She's born and raised in Jamaica.
Well, I left Jamaica at 7.
At 7.
Yeah.
That's still raised-ish.
Yeah, because you know, that's the prime age.
Yeah.
And that's what, Port Royal?
Port Royal.
You remember Port Royal? You visit the place and go you check back the place on the state?
Every time I come.
Okay.
I mean, I live here now,
I'm just making a check, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you started in Port Royal, Kingston. Mm-hmm. You said you migrated basically about 7, right? And then you came back about what age? Well, not age, or
how long now have you been back?
Yeah. A year.
Okay.
Yes, 1 year. Yeah.
All right. So
and you're happy that you made that decision, or you're not sure?
No, I love Jamaica. I love the beaches. I love the food. The people are beautiful. You know, I'm still in the state. But I love Jamaica. Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. You know, that's where she started out. But I want to know where it began when it relates to the whole entrepreneurship. At what point did you get to that? Because was that your aim growing up? Oh, I want to be an entrepreneur.
Oh no, my aim was I was going to be a CPA.
Okay.
A CPA, and I'm the entrepreneur. But it really started at the age of 14, I would say, because at the age of 14, I was at school selling candies, lollipops, doing my business, making money, because I had to supply my shoes.
Yeah. Oh, your
my shoes, because I love shoes. Yeah. But I started at age 14, and then age 18, I started selling Kirby vacuum cleaners, going door to door, like the #1 salesperson, and then that turned into like, I'm on the wrong side of this thing. Turned into real estate. Yeah. I got into real estate, and I just love helping people. Love seeing their eyes light up. You know, when they get those keys. Yes. So that was the thing. Serving my businesses. All my businesses is about service. Yes. Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
And I love that you mentioned real estate, because even though she's a serial entrepreneur, so she does a little bit of everything, the topic that we mainly want to focus on today is real estate, right? So our topic for today for Talk the Team with Kim is things to consider before, not after, not in the middle of it.
Well, after you basically have no choice but survive.
I mean, you can still learn, right? But
you will learn.
And you will learn. But things to consider before buying real estate. Yeah. So you said that you tapped into real estate about age 18. So let us know, like, how has that been? How was it at the beginning, and how is it for you now?
So at the beginning, it was so new, very excited. Well, I started off as a loan officer, so I know
every stage.
All angles of it.
Yes. So I started off as a loan officer, and that's when I realized that I didn't want to be a CPA. It's due to the fact that just being in the office all day long, that wasn't my thing. So then I was like, oh, I need to be selling the houses. Then I got my real estate license. Of course, I had to go to school for that. Got my real estate license, worked full time. I was doing my thing in Cali, I was doing my thing, and then I became a broker. I moved to Georgia. I've been all over the place. I'm like a mutt,
if you're doing the business and you actually need to go somewhere else to make it,
you're gonna do it.
Right.
But you mentioned a quick change there. I like how she just went from trying to get the loan, and she went to
brokerage.
And all of a sudden she got. What was that change like before you actually became the broker? Before you actually.
Oh, so when you start in real estate, right, you can't just start off as a broker. You have to pay your dues. So you have to work at least, you have to have your license for at least 5 years. And out of those 5 years, 3 years, you have to be full-time,
there we go.
Closing deals. You have to be closing deals.
Yes. I want you to let them know what
you've had to do.
Get this knowledge and wealth.
I love that you're saying this, because I see where lots of persons are popping up. Oh, I'm knowing real estate, and I've even considered, I was like, maybe you should do it. But now that you're explaining this, I'm understanding there's more to it than just selling a house.
Right. It's not like the prettiness you see on Instagram Yes. So basically, real estate is tough business. It's not for the faint of heart, right? Because you remember, you're dealing with people's life, right? And this is like buying a home. You're signing off your life for at least 25 to 30 years. That's a lot of commitment, right? So you have to be educated enough so you can educate your clients so they can make the best decision for themselves and their family, right?
Happy, that's not
right, they're gonna come right. You can't sleep at night, right? So with real estate, it's more to it than what you see. You have to go back to school, right? It's things that you have to know. You have to know your community, right? You have to know what's the best areas to buy in, what's going to give you more equity, because it's all about equity. That's how you reverse out of debt, That's how you build wealth through real estate. So you got to know what type of property. So you have to be able to translate that to the average civilian, right?
But I love that you mentioned the average civilian, because that now leads to my very next question. Would you say that real estate is for everyone, or something absolutely everybody should consider?
Everyone should consider real estate.
And why?
Because that's how you really build wealth. If you look at anyone that's a billionaire or so forth, they started with some real estate. Real estate is not as volatile as stocks, right? So you should have a diverse portfolio, but real estate should be something that you invest in. Even if you're a serial entrepreneur, you're not a realtor or whatnot, you need to have a real estate portfolio, because that's going to last longer. Real estate value keeps appreciating no matter where in the world you go. Real estate always appreciate. Land. If you can't buy a house, buy a land, hold on to it, because you never know when that area is going to develop. And then now you bought this land for $50,000, it's worth like $2 million. You never know, right?
So these are definitely basically a good start for investments if you're really looking for the long term, because people want security. You want security,
right? Security, yes.
So you say everybody should.
Everybody should. And even if you think you can, you don't have to start big. You said it earlier. You can't just wake up one day and say, boom, this is what I'm gonna do. You got a plan. You have to have a strategic plan. And then just like babies, right? Babies don't just get up and walk. They sit up first, right? Then roll over, then sit up, and then crawl. That's progress. So if you have to buy something simple, something that's nobody likes, something ugly, but you could put your own touches on it. You could rehab that property, fix it up. Boom, that's a start, right? Then whatever you make from that property, you take it and get a next, and you keep going and going and going until you hit where you're trying to go.
I like that you mentioned that, because I've heard, in my limited research, because I've done a little bit, that most times your first home will not be your dream home.
Absolutely not, unless you're just a millionaire or trust fund baby.
someone would put down from you.
Right.
I think even for them, it's not their first because they probably learn things at the first one, and they're like, I want to step up with it. So it's probably still not their dream home.
Yeah, because buying your first home is going to be a new experience.
And you think what you think you want.
Bedrooms, and they're like, wait.
And they're like, well, I don't need 7 or I need 15 instead, whichever. So I like that you mentioned that.
Clean all 15 bathrooms. Some of the bathrooms you don't even use. So when you go in there, it's all ring around.
Exactly.
Like, it gotta be realistic.
I love that. That's one thing that stuck with me. That most times your first home will never be your dream home.
Yes.
But I want to know a bit now about like the factors surrounding it. So how has recent economic factors such as like interest rates, inflation, or even the pandemic that somewhat ended recently, how does that really influence housing markets? Because I know we hear about it affecting it, but we probably don't know. Is that the houses are getting sick?
Well,
what is happening?
The price is going up, but tell us about
how does it affect it?
Okay, so the market is, like a roller coaster ride. It's up and down, right? But what the average, I'm going to say consumer, civilian, what they don't know is that even though interest rate is a little bit higher, right? The rich people still buy, right? Because that means if the interest rate is higher, you can somewhat get the homes a little bit cheaper, because it's like economic, right?
Yeah, something balances out.
Yes. So don't be afraid because interest rates is high. You can still invest in your home. You might not get the higher value home. You can get a lower value home. But guess what? When interest rate goes down a little bit, your home is going to appreciate some more. Then it becomes more so of a buyer's market, right? So you got to know your market. Mm-hmm. Don't be scared of the market. You got to embrace the market, right? And you got to make it work for you.
And that was one of the things that I had on my list of questions. Because I like these fancy talks, and they sound very fancy. Embrace the market and the market conditions. So I literally had what is meant by market conditions, because I hear that term being thrown around all the time. Got to evaluate the market conditions. So what does that mean?
Like, how is the interest rate? Mm-hmm. What is the demand for properties? Right now, Jamaica is in high demand, right? Everybody want to get some Airbnb or the tourists them come and stuff like that.
A lot of, all the apartment complexes.
Right. Right.
Part-time
hotels are being built all the time.
Right. But the average person could build them like a little fourplex, do an Airbnb. It could be better than a hotel. I mean,
You're giving me something here, Tiffany. You're giving me something here.
See, that's what TAMG Realty is all about. We're all about educating, engaging, elevating the community, So if we're able to educate you, then like I said earlier, you can make a wise decision for you and your family. Mm-hmm. Then you know how to work with market conditions and all that good stuff. And then you can know how to build wealth through real estate. Because you don't have to just think about, I'm just buying my home. Yeah. No. Use it as a business. Mm-hmm. Real estate is an asset. Yeah. Maybe you buy your dream home later on. Yeah. Maybe you just live in a small little house just to build wealth, not to just go out first home. You want to just have this mansion. No, buy some commercial property, buy some units. Yeah. Let those things finance your luxury lifestyle.
So let your money work for you
instead of you working for the money, right? Then you can open other business like a Dynamic Duo, the call center, right? Yeah. Then a school, Tiny Footprints Academy, and then I wrote a book, Reversing Turmoil, because
hold on, I think I take notes. Hold on, can you take over the interview and just take notes? Because I need to focus on this.
I was looking at the time and I was thinking that it was about 8:15 because I know she has been telling me about hours of information.
Like a lot of information.
All right, so that you said a great option, as you said. Maybe you look for a property, for example. Let's say you want a 2-bedroom, but you can probably afford a 4-bedroom. So you do that like a 4-bedroom. You find a way to get part of the house to generate revenue.
Yes.
So you can pay for your part of the house.
Yes, without coming out your pocket. Yes. That's real estate. That's building wealth through real estate.
That's how, because most persons are going to think, oh no, I'm going to buy 2 different properties, or probably, I don't have the money to start. I need somewhere for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
She said, you stay somewhere small. You probably put your house or you purchase a real estate property as an investment, and then probably 10 years or so down the line.
You don't have to wait that long.
You don't have to wait.
What?
I love it.
them though, but she said you don't have to wait that long.
No, exactly.
And she knows because she would have seen it happen. But
right,
I don't
living
know.
in
I say about 10 years, but 10 years even it's not a long time.
10 years not a long time
because
either.
At 20, I told myself, I'm going to do something at age 25. And when I look sometime, I'm like, this is 32 and I didn't do it yet. And 10 years has passed.
Yeah.
So imagine if you had started that investment towards a real estate property at, if you 25 or 30 and you're now 35, you'll be able to be reaping the benefit from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not even
that long.
I'm just saying 10 years is
even
not
that
long
yeah.
when you're looking at life because so much happens, but we can be actually securing some future wealth, or as they call it, generational
wealth.
These are things you can pass on.
Absolutely.
But you see now, I like that we're talking about all the positives and how real estate is really like a source of wealth, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like us to get a bit into the fine details.
Right.
So
Okay.
I figure it's not that we just go to a place or go to NHT and say, hey, there's a house I see. I want that. Let me figure out the money. What are some things that you would say the average person doesn't know? So based on your experience, like one of the things that you find yourself having to educate people on when it comes to the steps.
Yeah. Credit is like the number one issue, right? And then finance. So it's the difference when you're self-employed and employed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So self-employed people, they make their own money, right? So they don't have pay slips, right? And employed people do have pay slips, right? So those two major factors is very important. Your credit, you have to pay your bills on time because that's what the bank is going to look at. So if you're not paying your bills on time, you're now a high risk versus being a low risk or a moderate risk, right? You want to be in a low or moderate risk because then that will give you more buying power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'll give higher LTV, that's loan to value, right? Better interest rates because I mean the higher the bank rates you, the lower the risk you are. You could get a lower interest rate.
Yeah, because you're doing good. You're right. I don't need to worry about you.
Right.
So
yes, and that's how the rich people stay rich because if you notice. When us when we buy stuff, we always get the highest interest rate, the highest interest rate that, and so all our money's going into interest. While their money, they're paying down their principal faster, right? And then it's even a trick. It's a lot. I mean, I could sit here and tell you guys everything.
One of the things I learned with the persons who would say are better off financially, they don't spend their cash.
No,
they take a lot of loans.
Yes, because that's the way to go.
And also, they are actually facing low interest rates.
Yes, so they borrowed
as much of a cost to them.
Correct, and they could double, triple the money in no time.
Wow.
Yes, and then the finance, right? So when you're self-employed, you have to pay yourself.
Right.
So you can have pay slips. If you're not paying yourself, then you're gonna have to show it with bank statements, right? So if you're getting approved by bank statement, you want to make sure that you deposit all your money into the bank.
So the bank sees that. So the bank,
right? Because as entrepreneur, if we get paid cash, we may not go make a bank deposit, right? So then, we know we made more, but we don't have it on paper. Yeah, you got to prove yourself on paper. You got to look good on paper, not just in person.
I like that. I like that part. You got to look good on paper, not just in person,
not just in parties.
Right, but what also would you say are like some common mistakes that persons, especially first-time buyers, often make, and how can we avoid them?
Sorry, I'm just going to ask you to repeat the question, but just to recap the 2 points earlier.
Oh, yes.
You said the first
credit,
yes,
and finance.
Ensure you're paying your bills
on time.
You took out a loan before, ensure you are paying those loans on time, because that will put you at a bad risk when it comes to looking for a property, actually taking out a mortgage and stuff like that. Right. You might not get through as easily. You might get a higher interest rate. All these things. It's like you're stacking the odds against you if you're not prepared.
I feel like we need a conversation exclusively about credit. Because I don't think, especially in Jamaica, I don't think we think about, in America you hear credit everywhere. Right. Credit, you can literally live off credit. But we don't focus on it here, and I think that is to our downfall.
Right. So, because the bank look for that.
The bank looks for it, but we don't keep track of it.
For credit cards, we don't even know about. But we're
gonna have a whole credit discussion.
But the second thing she said now,
financing.
So people, if you get in irregular pay slips, keep your documents together. If
you're self-employed, pay yourself.
Start paying yourself. Keep
Or
a record of your payments as if you are an employee.
Yeah.
So these are documents that you can show to the bank to say, regular payments are coming in. This is about how much I would make. So don't just pocket the money and we don't know the little flow, right?
Yeah. Or as she said as well, deposit it into an account because you might get a cash payment.
Right.
So ensure you go and make deposits so it shows the income. You might spend it after, but it shows that it came.
Right. Because you don't spend it. When you want to show them, because they look at the deposit, they're not looking at the withdrawal. But they will look at if you have NSF. Right. In and out. Right. In and out. And another thing is, what we don't do as a people, we don't save. We don't pay ourselves.
Wow.
So if we're working, right, take 10% and just pay yourself.
Right.
Look, you did good this month, baby girl. 10% to yourself, because they're gonna look at that, right? You have to have some reserve. You in Jamaica, you have
like a savings.
They put in a savings account. In Jamaica, they look for your closing costs up front and your down payment. So you're gonna have to have that. So why not start saving that 10%? You know?
That's another thing that catches.
That's one of the things I want.
Down payment and closing costs.
And they're like, okay, the bank is gonna give you this much, so you have to find the rest.
You have to find 5-10%. Then you have to find 3% for closing costs.
And I hear lawyer fees, legal fees, and
so it's like you gotta have 20% to be on the safe side. So think about that and plan accordingly.
Wow.
You see, that's the part I wanted to touch on. So I think that's what I was hinting at earlier when I said the things that most people don't know. Because that's something that I recently learned due to my research. Because I'm, interested looking, and I was like, okay, hold on. And when I heard these details, I was like, what? No, I have to go back to not doing this. Because, it's instantly a deterrent. Because when you look at the house prices being, let's say, 10 mil. Let's say 10, and that 10 is a good cost compared to what I've been seeing. That's why I said let's work with 10, because I'm not seeing 10 anywhere. But then when you calculate, most people are like, 3%, 5%, it sounds small, right? But when you work that out off the 10 mil, or the 20 mil, or the 30 mil, that is a lot of money that you have to find out of pocket. And I think that most times is what deters most persons. So for persons, exactly. So for persons who are concerned about that, you said they need to plan in advance.
Yes. So if you know, okay, hey, I have my eye on this little property. You know what? I need to save this. So if you're paying yourself that 10%, you can even pay yourself more. But the thing is, we just don't know how to save because we have all these bills, and some of us just keeping it real, right? Some of us live check to check,
literally.
But what we got to understand, if we have a regular job and we're employed, we know what we're going to get paid. Always, right? Unless the budget. So we should budget, write it down, plan.
But what if the expenses exceed the budget?
You sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice.
That's true.
Change. Don't go out as much. Let's set it.
As a friend said to me one time, if you can't change the expenses, you definitely need to change the job.
That's true.
Change the work, and you're gonna need more income.
No, you don't. It's a mental thing. You talk about mental, right?
Yeah.
If you change the job but don't change your mental, guess what? The same thing gonna happen. So you gotta change how you spend.
Hold on, I think you need to repeat that part. I think you need to go over that part when you said if you change the job and you don't change your mental,
the same thing gonna follow. So you have to change your mental because it's not the job, it's not your pay, it's how you budget, it's how you think. Right?
You can make it.
It can make it work. Anything could work. Anything is possible.
That is true.
You know?
I like that.
That is absolutely
true. And that's what
true.
reversing turmoil is all about. It's all about we all go through it. No one talk about the ugliness, right?
Yeah.
The ugliness of failure.
Right.
It's not ugly, but people are afraid of it. Especially us in Jamaica. We're afraid of fail because we're taught not to fail.
Yeah.
Right? And if we fail, that's a weakness. If we cry, that's a weakness.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't talk about it. How are we gonna grow from it? How are we gonna learn from it? We all have trauma. We all, I'm sorry to say, but we all come from slavery, right?
Yeah.
So we have trauma, unspoken trauma we haven't dealt with that is affecting our everyday life. So you have to dig deep, find the root of it, change your mentality, and it will change your future. You know?
Listen, and you would think that this is a Sunday sermon. No, this is Funtastic Fridays dropping the gems. We're gonna go to the break. When we come back, we have more information to share, more questions to ask. If you have any questions about real estate, feel free to drop a comment on the live or send us a WhatsApp or a text on 876-792 3530.
All right, so we're getting some messages here. We're going to check those after the break. We'll return. Fantastic Friday continues.